Have you noticed that over the last several years that basically all kinds of restaurants, not just the ones where you go in, you actually have a server, they take your order, bring your food and stuff like that. I'm talking restaurants where you actually walk up to the counter, you order the food, you get the food, or you call the order in to pick it up. So the person is just taking your money, right? But they started putting the tip, the little tip space on the receipt for pizza places, regular restaurants, any kind of restaurant. And I understand on restaurants where there's a server and they're taking your order that they only pay them like, a couple dollars an hour because there's some kind of loophole where they can basically pay them less than illegal immigrants. And they pay them nothing. So you understand they're doing a job, they're taking your order, doing this. You should give them a tip, because if you don't give them a tip, they're not making crap. So it's just understood you need to give them a good tip. I mean, if they did a good job. Even if they didn't, still tip them something. But I have a problem going to pick up my food, the person's ringing the register up, and then giving them a tip for an order that I'd placed previously, and I'm just picking it up. Or you walk into a restaurant and you order the food, and they don't bring it out to you. They just call your name, right? John, Joe, Tim, Bob, get your food now. And they have a tab there. Now, these people are making regular wages and things like that, but they think that they can put a tab on there to get a tip, and the tips are probably scattered across the store. Heck, maybe the owner keeps all the tips. I don't know what happens, but I have a problem in giving tips to. Next thing you know, you're going to go to a buffet restaurant, right? So you walk up, you pay, you do all the work, you get the food and everything else, but they're going to have a tip place on it. I'm thinking at some point, places like Walmart, Lowe's, Sporting Goods. I'm talking every single retail store. When you go pay for the item, they're going to have a space for the tip. Let's say if there's 6 or more in your party today, you need to tip at least 18%. We're going to automatic. How about that? You go into Home Depot or Lowe's with 6 people, and they automatically add 18% to your bill of whatever kind of crap that you bought. I mean, Best Buy, you go in and buy a computer, right? Well, you got 8 people, and it's $2,000 computer, so you're paying an extra $360 because of that. I just think it's ridiculous. Tips for people who do not deserve a tip. In fact, if I am going to tip somebody and the food's good, I would prefer the tip go to the chef or the people in the kitchen that's cooking the food. But you feel almost guilted into it. I mean, I went, you order a pizza, there's the thing there, and you're like, oh crap, if I don't throw on $1 for this, and I've done all the work, they didn't do anything, I feel cheap. Why should you feel cheap? They have the little tip jars there. Some restaurants will have the tip jars. I understand if you're not a large chain, have the large international backing, you put a tip jar out there. For a local mom and pop restaurant, you got good food, yeah, I'll tip a little bit of money. You can need it competing against the big dogs. But I am not going to tip anymore for large chain pizzas. I'm not going to tip when I order the food and I pick it up. You got a tip line. I'm not going to do it. I suggest you don't either. If we don't make a stand now, it's going to get out of hand. You're going to have to tip for every freaking thing. You go get gas at the gas station, it's going to print off a receipt. Let's say you paid for it at the pump, right? You paid for the gas at the pump with your credit card. It prints the receipt off, and it has a little line there for a tip. I think that's where we're going next.